In this lesson, we will cover the following topics: identifying sources of information, analyzing level of proof, and cross-checking information through corroboration. An important part of the process of collecting evidence is to identify sources that would provide direct evidence and corroborate indirect evidence on the case. In the process of identification of sources, you need to, based on initial facts, determine whether it could involve a probable violation of human rights or not. So you need to identify the elements of the rights that may have been violated. You need to prepare a checklist of all possible sources with regard to the matter under investigation. Such checklists should be prepared by analyzing various elements of the matter under investigation and the evidence required to substantiate each element. For example, in case of an alleged extrajudicial execution, where the victim was reportedly killed by a military unit or by members of an armed opposition group, sources should be identified to seek the following basic information. Who was the victim? How was the victim killed? Who found the body? When, where, and in what condition? What were the circumstances? When and where, including the date and time and place. Based on such basic information, you need to identify the witnesses to events immediately following the act. In the present case, it would include doctors that treated the victim, relatives and others who attended the burial, local reporters or others who reached the site immediately after the event, and others who may not have seen the body or the actual event. Next, identify background witnesses, such as family members, who can give a description of the victim, prior arrests or threats faced by the victim. Other witnesses could also be local leaders, members of local NGOs, and others who knew what had occurred in the area. Also seek written documentary evidence, such as medical or autopsy reports, police reports, newspaper reports, and so on. If necessary, undertake an on-site inspection. Let's do an activity based on a scenario that will give you practice in identifying the sources of information. What is the scenario? S was arrested by the police at 11 p.m. on 11th April 2017 as he was returning home to his village, X, house number 101. At 2 p.m. on April 12, S telephoned his brother-in-law informing him that he was in custody at the ABC police station. According to the Rights for All, a local organization, police stopped S, searched his car, and informed him that there was an arrest warrant against him in relation to a murder. On the basis of that information, S was arrested. As per newspaper reports, on April 12, 2017, S's family went to the police station to visit him. However, their request was denied. On April 13, 2017, the family contacted the local government office and asked their help in visiting S. The local government officer accompanied them to the police station. The family and the local government officer were allowed to visit S for a brief period. The family observed that S was covered with bruises. The family has complained that S was subjected to torture in police custody. Now you work in a national level human rights organization. You have been given the responsibility to conduct a fact-finding into this case. How will you plan your fact-finding? Given these case details, what are the sources of information that you can first identify? So, did you make note of the following sources of information? Witnesses, such as the local government officer and family members who visited S at the police station and can provide direct evidence in this case. Background witnesses, such as the brother in law and representative of the organization Rights for All, and the journalist who reported the news story. Documentary evidence, such as the memo of the arrest or records at the place of detention. Photographs, if any, of the bruises on S's body. Medical records, if S was given any medical attention.